Hello and welcome back to the Age of the Ring Two Towers campaign playthrough. You're back with me on mission 3, which is the Three Hunters. I'm playing this immediately after playing the Dead Marshes because I've got a bit of time and I thought, why not? It's a level which, you know, it was a tough one to go through, probably the toughest one out of the lot to make, which I'll explain in the level. But it's also, I think, it's a lot of charm to it, and it's quite fun to have the Three Hunters back in action. I think mine will be the Four Hunters, as I assume Boromir's alive, but we'll find out as I play this. But yeah, let's have a look. Boot that up. So that landscape there in the image is primarily what we'll see in this level. It's a lot of what was missing from Battle for Middle-earth 1. They didn't really do this kind of craggy hillscape kind of thing. So I spent a lot of time in, I think it was December 2019, creating a new texture set for this level, and that the Lego Man made a load of new rocks to try and simulate what we see here. It's probably not green enough, but equally I think it's closer than we've seen before, so a very nice addition. I've always wanted to see this, in Battle for Middle-earth. Because a lot of the EA Rohan maps were quite cliffy and very green. And I know in the books Rohan's a very green place. I won't deny that. I've been told. But in terms of what we see from the films, it's a landscape that wasn't really present. It's also quite a long level, which is why we have quite a long loading screen. And it was one that, well, let's watch this first, shall we? Let's see that crouching animation in place again.
Their pace is quickened. They must have caught our scent.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
The Uruks turn northeast. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Oh, we do have Boromir. Oh, good stuff.
Hurry!
Come on, Ghibli.
3 days of night's pursuit.
Oh, they didn't merge into each other. That's good.
No sign of our quarry, but what fair rock can tell.
That's so good. It's great that music cue kicks in. Here we go.
Come, Ghibli. We're gaining on them.
With our 4 hunters. There we go. We got the little clip in the plant here. Lovely stuff. Proper stuff. And we're back with our heroes. Spent the most time with Aragon, I guess, which makes sense because we're Weathertop and Shadow of the Past. So yeah, you'll see all of these textures are, well, unless you use World Buddy, you're not going to notice. But they're all real colour matched to be a bit more that kind of dry grass look. So first thing I'm going to do is go over here to get the additional bit of, this little pickup here, this clue of the Uruk party, which is actually, I think it's an Uruk shield and a helmet, which looks very nice indeed. These are a neat little thing you can collect throughout the level. There we go. So yeah, getting Boromir in here wasn't very hard. Scripting wise, it's not much effort to include an extra character. The issue we had was Boromir was refusing to die, very much unlike him. We found it late in development when we were doing the major testing that even if he died in Now and Hen, he would still appear here. So we had to do a lot of fiddling and problem solving to stop that happening. But yeah, very un-Sean Bean-like. There's our brooch. I reckon pretty much nobody's going to actually realise that's there, but it's a nice little detail. Scroll down.
Not idly to the leaves of Lorien.
So this is this time jump we're going to see here when we go back to see the Uruk-hai and everything. That's, I think, where this level gets quite hard to make because we're skipping time a lot, going backwards and forwards, and backwards even more.
Saruman will have his prize. We will deliver them. What is it? What do you smell? Man flesh. Then picked up our trail.
Let them go. There we go.
Less than a day ahead of us.
Superb. Boromir line?
Let's continue on.
There we go. Let's have a look over here. Oh no, look. We can't follow them because the path has collapsed. The path is blocked. It is indeed. So this is the first map in the Two Towers campaign. Actually, in the campaign in general, up to this point where I haven't done all of the mapping on my own, a lot of this gully work you see in here, a lot of the finer details were done by a mapper from the Dwarf Holds who came back between Fellowship of the Ring and Two Towers. And he helped me out a lot throughout Two Towers in making some maps. Some maps he did entirely on his own, and others he did the majority of the terrain work.
I'll take him!
But on this map, yeah, specifically this gully area, he did a lot of the texturing work and added rocks, things like that, which was amazing. When I don't have to do things, it's superb. And he's Haldir on the team, and you'll know him from a lot of his Fortress maps and his other maps. And yeah, if you play the Dwarf Holds, you'll know him from that. It's the big Erebor map.
Stand fast!
And the latest
I did
patch.
not think it was possible for these
Gundabad.
creatures to smell any worse.
With some other people, but yeah. Wolfborg and all. But yeah, so he's helped me out immensely. So let's sneak through here. A lot of people don't realise that you can go up this little path here, and it leads to the final clue? Yes. I'm going to ignore those wargs, I'll come back for them later. If I sneak on through here. So yeah, all these rocks had to be made for this level, and they're used throughout the mod now, but yeah, originally they were just made for this level, and because it was so early, it was, early 2019, it was very hard to remind people that, ideally we didn't want them being revealed. It sounds silly, but when a lot of work goes into a rock and the look of a level, you don't want it to be almost normal by the time it comes out, So we kept having issues where we put these rocks in and they get pulled from like the Dolgul door release, the Mercury release. And we'd have maps with missing rocks and problems like that. Thankfully we don't have to do that anymore. That's damn things out. We don't have to worry about that.
Finally, someone there.
Let's throw one of those. Boom!
Steel yourselves!
There you go. So yeah, that's where the final clue is, and it makes sense. No one would expect to go up here because it's not a traditional bridge, but I wouldn't bother making this much space and not using it. It's a waste of effort, If you're gonna make it, you may as well have something happen on it. Right, so let's slink back across here. So kill these guys. They're mean-looking things. This is one of those situations where you have an unnecessary problem in that these wargs are harder, do more damage and harder to kill than wargs later in the level. So what we have to do is we have to take the Misty Mountains warg, retexture it, rename it, change the image, change the damage, and change the health all through map I&I, to get this to be balanced. Because these guys fighting wargs isn't the same as a peasant horde fighting wargs. It'd be unfair. It'd either be too easy or too hard. So it's one of those really faffy things. We have to go through and do all these stupid things. Then you find that you have to change all their voice lines because now they're using wolf noises, and that's where you end up wasting a lot of time doing all those little tiny annoying things that you have to do in order for that to balance out. So I think these guys were, when the wolf noises were only recently added, so it was previously fine, then suddenly it wasn't. They were making wolfy noises. Let's kill these guys. Boom, boom, boom. I got a leap. Nah, it's not worth it just for these buggers.
Behind you!
Oh no, maybe it is.
Stand your ground.
Ooh. They're doing loop-de-loops. Where are they going? Where are they off? Where are they going? Maybe they couldn't quite fit
Let's
up here.
hunt some orc.
What I'm hoping is we'll see them up on these glyphs. I wouldn't be surprised. Right, here we come to the big warg boss, who is also a very late addition.
I'm up to 17.
Far too much attention.
Probably only the
to
last
seriousness.
month or so of development. Decided to add this big bugger in there. Holy crap! That warg is demolishing Aragon.
Hold your ground. Take your last.
Let's try and kill that before it munches Aragon to death. Oh, it's no pushover, is it?
By the blood of Gondor!
There we go. What a
Nicely
mean
done.
Warg.
He shall twitch no more.
Dunzo. That was always in the plan to have like a warg boss, but
The red sun rises.
it's one of those things. It
Blood has been spilled this night.
took a while to get in there. Here we go. Here we go. Here comes the Eomer and the gang.
Riders of Rohan! What news from the mark?
This was quite a hard cinematic to do. To get the distance and the angles and make sure they went far enough and loop back round. And Eomer has to disappear from view and then come back in on foot, so it's quite hard. He's probably alternative in the bottom left here. There he goes.
An elf, a man, and a dwarf having the ritter mark. Speak quickly. Give me your name, Postmaster, and I shall give you mine.
Oh, he's going to get heavily ignored here.
If it stood but a little higher from the ground.
I'm Aragorn, son of Aragorn. This is Gimli, son of Gloin, and Legolas of the Woodland Realm.
A lot of people have said it's strange that
We are friends of
Aragorn doesn't have
Rohan.
lines for Boromir, but I mean, he
And of
physically
Theoden,
doesn't.
your
I don't know what we could have done. He doesn't.
Theoden no
He never
longer
addresses him in a way that we could have used.
Not even his own king. Saruman has poisoned the mind of the king and claimed lordship over these lands.
It's also a huge amount of
My
effort
company are those loyal
to
to
retime
Rohan.
a cinematic this long.
For that, we are banished.
So to make two versions of this would have been rather
The White Wizard is
awful.
cunning.
So I'm glad we didn't bother.
Spies
Because you've got to retime every single
Scarno
little event.
spies.
Camera, the
Party
motion,
of Uruk-hai westward
voice
across the
lines,
plain.
and where they all look. You have to do
Taken
that
two of our friends.
two versions if
The
you're going
Uruks
to have
are
extra
destroyed. We
dialogue in there.
slaughtered them during the night.
There we go. Here we go, so we've gone back in time to when, before we deal with the Uruk-hai, to show what Eomer was up to. There we go. See, originally I thought this level was going to be quite different in that
We are the only defense our people
I thought we
have
would
right
have the be it with the three hunters,
now.
and then when we got here, I assumed it would just be the Uruk fight, and then it would be the three hunters running around the plains of Rohan. But
Stand fast.
it's Eomer's only actual place in the campaign, so I guess it would be a bit of a shame if he never got to be used at all. It'd be a bit silly. And let's freeze these guys. Use that. There.
Steer away from their pikemen.
Yeah. Where are their pikemen? Let's keep some of these guys alive. Maybe throw a spear at them.
Do not give in.
I don't want to lose all of my. Ooh. Oh, I lost that spear horde.
Drive them from our land.
It's worth keeping them alive though if you can. Alright, let's kill these guys. There we go. So yeah, originally I thought when we were thinking about this mission, you'd do the bit with the three hunters, then you'd destroy the orc camp in the
Captain
flashback,
Eomer,
and then
our
you'd be playing
provisions are low.
three hunters
Men
going
are
around the
tired.
plains. But no,
Brothers,
instead we've
we
got
have
this
work to do.
Eomer's moment
We'll
to
make camp here.
clear out Isengard's raiders. There you go. Now this may change in 7.1. It's possible that we may need to rejig a few things because there's a. I know we were crashing on the team playthrough on this level, which we've never done before, but hopefully it'll be nothing too drastic. There we go. Whoosh. The only time that power has, I think, ever been used since this game came out. It's nice fun to use for it, though. It's a neat little mechanic to
Won't be able to withstand multiple assaults like this for long.
make it a bit harder to actually reclaim these villages.
We got work to do. Countrymen.
Right, so yeah, here at this point we can't actually rebuild anything until we put out all the fires. So I'm going to send these guys to maybe destroy a war glare, get some money. You can have some money.
Let's get work.
You put that fire out? No, you've just looked at it.
Cat's on its way. Strike swiftly. Will we not ride out?
There we go. If you move this guy too soon after using that power, I don't think it finishes its animation, and it doesn't really work. So you've got to leave it a little bit.
They're trying to surround us.
You're almost dead. I'll put you back on your bow. There we go.
Where are we building?
Fires have been put out. Build one of those. And a well. Why
Come
not?
together, my friends, to lord and land.
So this level here used to be very different. You'd have the sort of three villages. That's all there was. Three major villages.
Our
You'd have
people will need
to
us.
defend them, and then after that, you destroyed the orc camp. It was a lot shorter, but equally it was far less interesting to actually do. Do I want any of these? Meh. Yeah, I'll save it. I don't need anything desperately. Right. These buildings are taking a long time. Maybe I'll go destroy another wall glare. Oh, I know there's one down here, which I often forget about. Hope they don't trigger too many guys on the hills or anything stupid like that. There you go.
They have mocked us too long! Attack! Strike them down! Attack!
Yeah, quite a tricky map to make, just because it's quite big. But it's big because you're a cavalry mage. If it's a small map, cavalry feels kind of pointless because you cross the whole thing so quickly. You know, it needs to be a big map to give you that,
Regroup at the camp! We all must
that challenge in that space.
Drive them from our land!
But I don't want money. I'm going to just build loads and loads of horsemen, I think.
They must not overpower us! For death and glory!
Let's build a couple of these. There we go. Right. I'm going to leave my one guy on his own back there, I think.
Purge them from his land!
Guys.
Countrymen!
So yeah, it's been described as a bit of a callback to Battlefield Earth 1. It kind of is. It's like an amalgamation of a lot of those Rohan levels, you know. Clearing villages, saving refugees,
Push on!
building an army. You know, it's a... I can certainly see where that comes from.
Horsemen of the Mark, give it your call.
These guys are like paper, so I wouldn't invest too much in them actually surviving. I think they die pretty quick. But you get given a lot of units on this map, so it's not too bad. Provided you can keep all these guys alive.
Brothers are fighting the enemy. Help them, and we may gain their support.
Gain their support.
Hold together, man!
Mush. Right, I can send my builder over here now. Because I can build here. And while he's doing that, I might go rescue a few more horse guys, so I've got a bit more of an army. There we go. So yeah, it's meant to be your opportunity in the campaign to really make use of cavalry this level. It's big, there's a lot of space to cover.
Cavalry muster, here at your
It gives you an opportunity to really use them to your advantage. Right, you put that out. Cool. Let's put this one out as well. Boom.
Men of Rohan!
Horsemen of the Mark, here at your call.
I might go...
Onward!
No, we'll go there yet. That village is a bit trickier to keep going.
Sharpen your swords,
I'll
men.
bring these guys over here. Okie dokie, that's done. Oh, I should be building the, not the windmill, because that's infantry, isn't it? I should be building the farm. Grounds increase present. Cost of cavalry. I'll do that then. Oh, I've hit the PowerPoint limit. Maybe I'll just get this one. Don't need repairs yet, that's more important for later in the campaign.
Let's go. Horsemen of the Mark, here at your call.
Two.
Supplies are coming.
Job done.
Stay sharp! Of the mark.
See, when you know what you're doing, you can get through it pretty quick.
Cavalry muster, here at your orders.
Provided it doesn't crash. Oh.
Drive them from our land! Stay sharp!
I know there's a lot of wargs on these hills, so I might go this way around, because I don't feel like fighting them. It takes a long time to kill all the like random hordes throughout this map.
Swiftly!
Will die today.
Here we go. See, this is the first level where we introduce the Dunlendings as a
Flank them
enemy
to the
unit.
left! Stay sharp!
As I mentioned in the previous video, we tried to stagger the units you actually encounter, so there's no real orcs or Uruk-hai here except for in the orc camp.
Protect
You
yourselves.
know, everything else is wildmen, Dunlendings,
Riders of the mark!
wargs, that kind
Attack
of
for
stuff.
the glory of Rohan! Strike them down!
Try to be a bit interesting when these different units turn up.
They're trying to surround us!
There we go. Made a good mush of all them. And my peasants survived.
Going over there! Be ready, archers!
Done. And I get a water cart. There you go. So originally you had just the one and you had to bring him around with you. And then it was like, it's no fun doing that. Can we please just have lots of them? So yeah, I built that in instead to try and be kinder. The intention isn't to make these as long as possible, it's just to try and make something that... They just turn out that way sometimes, I don't know why. Smush these guys. Now these are worth saving. It's not obvious initially, but these are upgrade cards, each one of these. Heavy armor, horse shields, forged blades, so it's worth keeping them alive because it's your only access to upgrades throughout this level. So when you see these guys running, yeah. And they will give you treasure if they make it all the way there. Uh-oh. I don't want you up here. Oh. Oh no, they're going to eat my one guy. Oh no. Oh no, they're going away. Hooray!
For death and glory!
I think you're outnumbered. How much damage is he? He's completely fucked. I would go to your doom. Right. Our refugees made it fine. Run away. Wait. He's one of Amir's scouts in the beginning. I don't really want him to croak.
Now where did those riders go?
Whoa. I've left one tiny bit of flame on this thatched roof.
Where do I go with this?
Oh no, my cart. Leave my cart alone.
Right here.
Hit your marks, men!
Don't want to lose that.
Horsemen of the mark.
That. Oh no. I've run him from one bag, one set of enemies into another. Where's Amir's guys? You're going to fight your way back to try and save us from these pissing wargs. They're not dying. I'll debuff them. There you go. Okie dokie, now I can build some stuff. Not going to bother building a statue. Hey, you peasants did it. I'll buy you some upgrades as a reward. I'll get a few more horsemen, I think.
Horsemen of the mark.
Ooh,
Here at your
and a
call.
cache.
Swords and shields for whoever needs
Yeah, I think this is probably quite a fun level if you're doing a lot of fellowship to get to build an army and not be so pigeonholed into such a linear path. I'm sure it's a welcome relief. Right, who's going to get what? You're just a normal one.
This is a heavy one.
Heavy armor I want to give to somebody useful. These Rohirrim? Yeah.
Ah, okay. Let's not these new blades.
Forged blades I'll give to my
You'll
royal
have these
guards.
straight away.
Because that's a bit more useful.
Now where did
And
those
horse
riders
shields, you can't have them, but you
go?
guys
All right, be
can.
patient. I'm on my way.
Between them all,
Horsemen of the mark. Here at your call.
see, he runs over here. Boom! Job done. That was originally how upgrades were going to work in the original Battlefield 1 game. No, these guys are just hanging out. I'll take it. I won't complain. Oh, they really want to attack this farm, don't they? Oh, they are. I thought for some reason they weren't going to.
Horsemen of the mark.
I'm not going to waste you on that, because I think you'll just die.
Sharpen your swords, men.
You can just run over here and join the main
Battle
army.
out.
You bastards. You don't have to rebuild these villages to progress to the next part of this level. It used to be the case, but
Men of Rohan.
scripts are very, very, very bad at identifying whether a plot has been built. Bit of an odd problem. You know, they really struggle to count. So you would build all of the villages, and then you'd find the objective wouldn't trigger for an indiscriminate amount of time. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 5 minutes. So we removed it as a condition. It just seemed more buggy than it was worth. Right, let's ride up here. I don't need you up here anymore, so I'm going to send you up to join this guy.
Gather your weapons.
I should hotkey this army, but I'm not going to, because I'm too lazy. Ooh. Ooh. I don't like them. Where's my archers?
Arrows.
Shoot them. And you chuck a spear at them. Don't ride at them, you total twats.
Horsemen of the mark. Horsemen of the mark. Gather your weapons.
Yeah, they died either way. That's fine. So there's some more villagers over here. So I'm going to get these guys. There they are. Bricking it. Let's do this. So I don't like the look of those spikes. Oh, they stopped. Total bastards. Oh, I'll get the wargs at least. Nah, I've got a bit of them. Ooh, I'm not going to look at that. It's just making me sad. You total wankers. You just hate my villagers.
Hold your ranks.
Oof, we're getting demolished in this big throng, aren't we? All these wargs.
Strike them down. Ha!
Maybe kill those guys.
Push on.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Only one villager. That's all that's left of that whole group. It's just that one guy. Poor bugger.
We owe you our lives.
Oh, you say we. It's just you, buddy. You're all that made it. Everybody else seems to have died. That poor guy.
Where do I go with this?
Right. Where are my upgrade
I have the
cards?
horse shield here.
Horse shields. Who do I want to give those to?
I
Yeah,
see
you
you.
can have
I'm coming right over. Some good heavy armor.
You can have those too.
Gather your weapons.
And I know there's a fire arrow guy in here somewhere
Call
too.
has gone out.
Flaming arrows ready.
I want to give those to these guys.
There
Stay
you are.
sharp.
Do I want another farm?
Men of Rohan.
Why not?
Swiftly.
This is more than a big enough army to go and take the next village, so I'll do that now, rather than waiting around.
Ride out.
Oh, I've got that one peasant who's slowing me down, don't I?
Countrymen.
Ah, he healed.
Keep your
Oh no, he
spirits
didn't.
high.
I'll give you draft. It'll just be you.
The battle awaits.
Flank them to the left.
Let's deal with these buggers.
Charge. Where are we
Not
building?
you. I guess you can cut these out. I don't think it won't do anything, but
We shall win this
who
day.
likes fire? It's a risk on this such a dry plain.
Gather
There
your
we
weapons.
go. It's just fire safety.
Together, my
Oh, this
friends.
poor guy's all on his own. Oh, I hate you guys. You suck. It's my base. Whatever.
Stay sharp. Press on.
Let's move on to this one up here. This is another big-ish one.
Who's ready?
Riders of Rohan. Attack. Men of Rohan.
Try not to lose too many guys, hopefully.
Let none live. Destroy the foes of Rohan.
Yeah, if possible.
Leave none standing. Wretched creatures.
They're trying to surround us.
Maybe kill those pikemen.
There's hope.
How's my base doing? Still being attacked? Yeah. Bastards.
Drive them from our land.
Definitely don't you guys die. I've put a lot of upgrades into you.
Strike them down. Push on.
How are we doing? I think in general we're doing okay, but we're probably losing a lot of guys.
Stay together.
Ugh. Not many of you guys left.
Rohirrim.
Mission accomplished?
Where are we building? Tools ready.
Neat.
Let's get this thing moving.
It's always worth bringing another one with you, so you get to build things just a bit quicker.
Gather your weapons.
Cool, I'm going to go over and do this one now, which is over
Ride
here.
out.
See, a lot of people do get confused knowing where to go, but if you do have a look, they are all revealed on the map, so you can see all the different spots before you go there. So you get a chance to actually
For
see where it is
death
you're
and
meant to be going.
glory.
It's not always entirely cruel.
For the honor of Theoden.
We got work to do. Supplies are
To
coming.
Lord and land.
That's technically quite complex when you end up with these situations where you're approaching guys that are meant to be fighting. You don't want them fighting the whole time when the game starts because it's just a memory leak. You do just lose all this. I don't know what you call it. Basically, the game gets taken up trying to endlessly fight two guys together. So you tried to trigger it when you get closer, but it's always very difficult to know how close you need to be. You know, because you also got to reveal it. You know, it takes a long time to tweak those areas and try to get to a point where it's actually helpful.
Strike forward.
Right. I know there's some refugees this way, so I'm going to get rid of this warg lair first. Because there's a lot of wargs up here and they're total bastards if I remember correctly.
Whatever weapons we are strong people.
Uh-oh. You are not going to win against our skulls. They're just going to slay you.
Come together, my friends.
Oh, I'm not going to come to their rescue if they're done for. I'll just move on.
Rohirrim. Put them from his lands.
Any of my bases actually survived? Oh, one did.
Let's get
Oh, not you. Run.
Cuts on its way.
Run away.
Let's get this thing moving.
Run far.
Rohirrim. Wretched creatures.
Maybe get rid of these guys. I don't want to lose both my water carts. These are quite hefty guys, these ones. Oof. They can't stand up to that many horses, though.
Stay sharp. Let's go
One
now.
of those. Okay. Let's go get these peasants. Now this is where I often lose a lot of my army. There's a big mosh pit of a fight up here.
Onward!
And in trying to rescue these refugees, I tend to lose a lot of people. I'm going to try not to trigger them too early. Try not to use too many of my powers either. I'll try and save those.
Attack the beans!
But you can see why you need a big map when you've got this many cavalry only units, and you need a lot of space for them too. These rocks are intentionally quite hard to use your cavalry on. But in the big open fields, if you lure them out, it's a lot easier to maneuver. Let's have another cash. 3,000 quid. Cool.
Ride out! Let's go now!
I think there are wargs on this side too. Frustratingly.
For the king!
There they are. So if you trigger the peasants immediately, they'll run up this way, sort of between these two sandwiches of wargs, and they'll get munched, or your guys will get bogged down fighting them.
Strike swiftly!
Keep them at a distance.
Oh, I've got some yeoman archer. And some peasants. Oh, spearmen. Didn't know. I assumed they'd all died. Can I build any more, guys? Yeah, I should be able to build some of these. Because I'm losing people to the wargs.
Right forth!
Right, that's that done. Let's set myself to be building a few more of these.
Let's get
Oh,
working!
no! Not that guy. Oh, no. Poor bugger.
Let's go now!
Right, let's
Ride
heal.
out!
There they are.
Safety!
I shouldn't ride into these pikes, but let's do it anyway. I didn't beware the pikes, I ran right into them. Ah, minimal casualties though. Just a few riders, a few farms. Right, let's get these buggers. But now it's worth getting ahead of these refugees because they're going to run all the way here. And if you're not there when they get there, they won't live very long. Let's go.
You will die today.
Our homes do go up in flames.
Fall back! Rohan! Guardsmen! Archers! Fight to your last friend!
Going to use a big old debuff in the hopes that doing this will keep my guys alive a bit.
For the king!
These abominations must be destroyed.
And you gotta watch these. See, watch these plummet. Use your powers, Aelmir. Ooh, it's not good, is it?
Men of Rohan!
It's not good. A better player would, organise this better. They'd look after their cav. They'd probably do some flanking runs. I'm just gonna sit here while carnage happens, I guess. Maybe I'll try to flank a bit. Oof. Oof, look at these guys. These are more pikes, aren't they? Oof, just begging to be killed. Oh, we lost a lot of guys there. Oh. Still did better than I normally do there. I normally lose most of my army. Cool. Job done. Where's my new water cart? There he is. He's coming out of a flaming building. How long was he in there?
Flaming arrows here!
Flaming arrows. Do I have any Rohan archers left?
You'll have these
Yes.
straight away. Where did those riders go?
Or shields?
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
that's not too blades are the best yet.
Forged blades? I'll give them to Rohan archers. That's stupid. Level 5. What level are you guys? 5.
You'll have these
I'll
straight
give it to
away.
these guys. They've already got some upgrades.
We got work to do. Cut's on its way.
This is just a slightly more interesting way of being able to give you upgrades. We can limit it for one thing, so you can't massively increase the strength of your army. But it's also possible you can have no upgrades if you let these peasants die, or you miss them.
Where are we building?
Just a bit of something different. Mix it up a bit. So you'll see a lot of details up here. Ones that Haldir added for me. A lot of the little ponds he did, little things like this. He just went over it with a sort of fine-tooth comb. Did a lot of the tinier details, because when you're doing such a big level and you've got at this point, when he joined, half the Two Towers maps were made. You really start to run out of energy for the smaller details. Whereas he's got a very good eye for that. Yay! Just run straight into some pikes. That's what I wanted. There we go. Should probably build a well. But this is the last village. So not too unbearable when you know where they all are. When you're starting off, there's like, you know, if you ride over all these rocks, you're going to lose a lot of guys on foot because there's a lot of hill troops on here as part of this objective. So avoiding the hills is a good way to speed this up. Unless you want to do the bonus objective, of course, in which case you can go through and take them all out one by one by one. But it takes a long old time. You just hate my villages, don't you? You total wankers. All villages have been found. There we go. It says to build on them, but I won't bother. This is nice. This is a little, like, dried up little gully. Right, this should be the last little bit I have to do.
Trying to surround us.
Right here. Knobs. Fire's been put out. Oh.
There, 4 of them.
So that should be this more or less over and done with.
Drive them from our land.
I have to kill. There we go. Finally liberate all the villages. Job done. There we go. So now we go a bit forward in time to when those initial scouts, which we saw a while back now, they ran off. This is what happened to those two. If you remember, yeah, we sent 3 scouts off. 1 we got back pretty soon to report on the villages, and these 2 went off to track. So you can kind of follow the footprints along here, it's not too bad. And you'll see the lighting's changed again to give it that closer to a night look that we would expect when they attack the orc camp. Here we are.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
And a big old fight. They are fighting amongst themselves.
This way, they'll kill each other before we have to move in. Quick, let's get back and inform Eomer.
That's all Battle for Middle-earth 1 dialogue, so I don't know what the original intention was. Possibly to do something similar to this, where you would find the orcs and report back, you know. I have no clue, but it was very convenient for this section to have that kind of dialogue in the game already. These guys are pretty mean. If you can't diddle-daddle, because they will kill you pretty quickly. Yeah, they run away when we get to here. Here we go. We've got our whole army back. Let's organise some quarrelling. If we act now, we can catch them unprepared. Very true.
The battle awaits.
There you go. Pretty simple. You've got your army, you know where they are. Because previously this ridge we just crossed was uncrossable. Just so you can't go over to where we have this orc raid, you know, this orc party. Till now. Cross over. I don't need to build an army because the one I've got is suitably large. Probably could do with healing them though if I get them all together.
Come together, my friends.
You guys don't have any upgrades.
Rohan.
You can do this basically peasant only if you buy those instead of horsemen. Doesn't quite look right though.
Men of Rohan.
No, don't fight those. Oh, there's always spearmen. Where's my archers?
Peasants alike. Be on guard.
You, shoot them.
Your spirits high. Gather your weapons.
Not
The
you,
battle awaits.
or you,
Press on. Be on guard.
or any of you,
Call has gone out.
or you,
Riders of the mark.
any of you. Everybody fuck off. You fuck off too. There we go.
Rohan.
So that's one good thing, if you clear these out beforehand, they don't just turn up bothering you at random times. Whoosh! Done.
Press on.
Let's go and deal with these orcs.
Let's go now.
They were over here.
Horsemen of the mark.
This looks suitably large as an army. Let's debuff you. Let's buff you. And let's stun you all. Oh, that's rather mean, isn't it? To stun the whole lot of them. Get in there. Get in there and mush them. You can lose here if you're not careful, because Ugluk's pretty strong.
Orc, filth, men of venture from our land.
Bloody well will.
Slay them all!
Now, where is Ugluck then? I don't think it's him back there. Yeah, there he is. Get him. So he has a heal, he uses his powers, he's a bit intimidating.
Push on!
Oh, he's found Aeon there.
Cursed Uruk-hai!
I'm not taking you off your horse, Aeon. You
Is that
can
your
kill him
best,
in
you
there.
pathetic scum? Slay them
That's
all!
harsh. See, he healed himself. Total bastard. There we go. Is that the whole lot of them killed? Oh, there's some back here. Lovely. See, job done. Not too bad if you've got a big enough army prepared. And now we skip further forward in time, back to where we were when we had the 3 hunters.
Do you see 2 hobbits with them?
They would be small. Only children to your eyes.
We left none alive. We piled the carcasses and burned them.
Intentionally at this point, you haven't seen Merry and Pippin, because the idea was to see it from the point of view of the Rohirrim where they actually didn't see them. So they're not there.
For your friends,
you know, they're invisible.
But do not trust a hope.
Playing that part of the level.
It has forsaken these lands. Farewell.
We ride north!
Farewell. Off he goes. Bye. Although unlike them, we don't have a horse. Off they go. It's basically just a massive flashback. So this is where we meant to go. And to everybody asking, where Boromir's shield? There, Boromir's shield. There. This is it. The way you're meant to go, you know? But I like that you don't trust us to the point where you're like, it definitely won't be on the path. It'll be some random obscure place. I had considered it, but Matthias made the good point of why bother making something like that to only have people not find it. Let's kill these buggers. You can, at this point, should you want, you can go through and destroy all the raiding parties.
Rohan.
Now.
How long do you need?
So there's something to do with the 300s if you want.
Strange at work here. Some evil gives speed to these creatures. Sets its will against us.
It does indeed.
My legs were not built for this.
It's one of the reasons why we don't immediately fade back to them being at the pile of the orc corpses, because that was something a lot of people wanted, but I didn't really want that because I want the opportunity, if you fancy it, to go around and clear all these hills. Because you don't get too much time with the main Fellowship heroes in this campaign, not compared to Fellowship of the Ring. So it's nice to have that option if you want to go around and kill them all with these guys, level them up if you need to. Look at them running around. It's neat to have this big open map to explore if you need to. Oh no, ooh, what is this? A treasure. A little wee belt.
This is a grim scene.
Is indeed.
We're too late.
Right. Let's grab
What
this.
treasure have we here?
Boom. That's quite a nice reward for anybody who's kept this guy alive. The fact he can pick up this object and take it back with him to Gondor, you know, keep it for the rest of the campaign if you want him to. It's such a neat little detail. Matthias came up with that back in early lockdown. I think it was like April. And he showed me the render and it was very, very exciting.
What is it?
Let's collect this then, that little belt.
It's one of their wee belts.
We
feel them.
Here we go. So look, ooh, to people who get confused here, I don't know if low graphics play into this, but they probably do. You can basically follow the footprints and collect clues. You
A
know.
hobbit lay here. And the other. They crawled.
Now the feet were made by Kyle, but I did some of the coding to make them invisible and appear. Because they only appear for Aragon.
Their bonds
You know, they
were
won't
cut.
appear for these three. Which is
They ran over
convenient
here.
that it works, but also very neat because you know, that is he is a tracker, he's a Dunedain, you know, that's what he does.
Tracks
There
lead
you go.
away
Don't you
from
pick it
the
up, Legolas. Piss off.
Into Fangorn Forest.
Fangorn. What madness drove him in there?
Oh, almost lined up perfectly. And we flash back again to the fight we just had. We have to reset the whole scene and change the time of day. It's a ton of work. Look at Snagger. He's creepy. His creepy blue head.
They are not for eating.
What about their legs? They don't need those. Ooh, they look tasty.
Such a lechy guy.
Prisoners for Kusana. Alive and
Alive? Why alive? They give good sport.
Such a creepy character.
After once for the war.
Just a mouthful. A bit of flesh.
Looks like a thief. Back on my menu, boys.
It's a bit slowed down for me on my computer, but when you're playing on a faster PC, all this music lines up perfectly. Carl spent a long time doing that. Run! So you've got a few 7 or so seconds to get out of here before you're screwed. Because you're invincible for a little bit of time. Look at this big old fight. Right, we've escaped into Fangorn.
Run!
Let's get it here.
I can hear them breathing.
So this was the original
Stay alert.
source of the rock lure, which now appears a few times throughout the campaign, and the prototype for the Ithilien lure we'll see in a later level. Came up with it around this time last year in July to try and differentiate this from Shadow of the Past.
Close.
Basically didn't want the same thing like Shadow of the Past. We were always hiding using the cloaks. I want something a little more interactive. So now you can throw a rock and they will investigate it from a short distance, so it'll lure in other ones as well. So we've picked up about 3-4 hordes. You don't have to be hidden either to use it. You can throw it from wherever. It just helps. There we go. So they're distracted. So now I can run around. Yeah, you can throw it from having a cloak on as well. So you can go this way. A lot of people don't always realise that. I know people on the team haven't gone this way before. And there used to be some rather mean spiders here, but we got rid of those because they were knobs. Yeah, you get some special audio if you go this way.
What? You remember the Uruk Forest? The borders of Brooklyn? We used to say there was certain woods that made the trees grow tall and come alive.
No, what are you doing, Pippin? That should be very... Ooh. Maybe don't slice them to pieces if that's okay. Maybe don't. Please don't kill the halflings. That was close. Right, I'm going to wait for my cloak to come back because I cannot take risks this late in the campaign, in this level. I haven't saved still. Who needs saves? Bleh. Right, I'm going to run this way. Pop that on. You were going to throw a rock over there, and they've got a huge range, so you can throw it from a really long distance, and you'll pick these guys up. Oh, you bastards. If I throw a rock there, I should grab those Uruk-hai. There we go. So a neat system. It took a little while to get into work, but with some help from Max on the coding side of things, and a lot of bizarre scripting methods, it seemed to all come together rather nicely. So these guys don't move, but as we've done already, I'm going to throw a rock and lure them away. Oh. It's not the best place to have lured them to. Maybe I can lure them over to that side of the wall when they finished being angry at the fact that I lured them with a rock. Did you hear that? Yes. So wait for those guys to bugger off. Ah, you total wankers.
Don't let them escape!
You throw a rock again. Then maybe we can freeze them with this. Aren't you distracted by that lovely rock? Not interested? Oh, yes you are. Yum yum yum, tasty rock. Run! See, it's a really handy little thing to have when you're doing these sections where you have to run and hide. You just gotta be a bit patient and wait for them to respond.
Look out, Mary!
And now we get chased by that creep.
I'm gonna rip
Ugh. Look at him go. Ooh, his little chicken legs. Run.
Squeal! No one's gonna save you now. Spit a maggot hole in your belly.
Boom.
It's talking.
It's great that.
The tree is talking.
Tree? I am no tree.
Krishna sinking to the ground, perfectly upright.
You understand? We're hobbits!
Angry tree dude.
Maybe one. The White Wizard will know.
Ooh, spooky. Then we flash back forward again.
Against all
Back
hope.
today, back to the 300s.
We now have a chance. We must hurry.
Must I enter the forest?
And thank God, we do no more flashing backwards.
We
and
must
forwards.
find them quickly.
We must find them quickly, you're correct. Ooh, look. Another neat little clip.
The air's so close in here.
This forest lives from ancient times.
Correct. Now you gotta watch out for some rather evil spiders. They do some significant damage
To
to
the
the
shadow! My people used
and they
to
like
hunt.
to kill Legolas in about 3
Not
hits.
just a thief,
And
but a
another.
liar as well.
Run away, Legolas. They hate Legolas. So bad blood between spiders and elves there. You got the back, you're weak. So we follow the exact same route we did with Merry and Pippin, although you may get a bit... If you've only been through it once, it's easy to get lost, so... It might take a few laps to find the right way.
Stand fast!
Blech. I think a lot of these spiders will catch people out because they're so tanky. People assume that a spider would just be like, there, immediately dead. But there'd be no point putting it in, you know.
Did that
Might as
tree
well
over
pose
there
some threat.
just move?
The trees are speaking to each other.
What do trees have to talk about? Hmm?
Tangaloo,
To battle!
take that!
That's
This
one of the
is your
scripting
end.
things where you have to be cautious, you know. He's got to be able to pick that dialogue up after this fight happens. Otherwise that's just going to play at the wrong time.
They have feelings, my friend.
There you
The
go.
elves began it. Waking up the trees. Teaching them to speak.
Let's creep down through here.
They came this way.
But their trail ends here.
Thank you.
We need to act quickly.
I think I'm ready to leave these woods behind.
Aragon,
Awful lot of dialogue, which we're able to use here. Ooh, big ol' scary light.
Aragon, there is something out there.
What do you see, Legolas?
The White Wizard.
Do not let him speak. He will put a spell on us.
Boom. Throw everything at him. Just takes it.
You are tracking the footsteps of 2 young hobbits.
The fact this obscures his face is
They
just
passed.
luck.
The day before yesterday. They met someone they did not expect. Does that comfort you?
Who are you?
Show yourself!
Look.
It cannot be.
immediately silhouetted.
Forgive me. I mistook you
Yeah,
for
you can see it.
Saruman.
It's the awesome new Gandalf model.
I am Saruman. Rather Saruman as he should have been.
Gandalf.
Gandalf? Yes. That was what they used to call me. Gandalf the Grey. I am Gandalf the White. And I come back to you on the turn of time.
You fell.
Through fire and water.
There we go. Level done. Just under an hour. Not too shabby. If you do the bonus objective, I think that'll probably be about an hour and 15, 20, if I had to guess. In-game time 46, which shows you the kind of slowdown you have on this computer sometimes. There we go. What was my favourite unit? Horseman of the Mark. What was my kill-death ratio? Was it really good? There's a lot of Rohirrim who died in that fight. So yeah, next battle is we're going to Battle of the Peak, where Gandalf the Grey meets his demise. A level which is very, very short, so I'll probably also do that one now and get it out of the way. But yeah, thank you for watching this. Hopefully it was of some help and maybe interesting at the same time if we're lucky. And but yeah, if you see you in the next one, if you've got any questions, yeah, feel free to comment away. All right, thanks very much. Bye-bye.